An essay is a chance to identify your read and learned. As a writer, you first need to collect many materials, then write an essay in 4 or 5 paragraphs, structures and quotes. If someone is searching for a book or article to read, he or she will decide from the very beginning whether this work is worth attention. If you want to wow your teacher, polish the introduction, especially the first couple of sentences. Add an essay hook, something interesting, funny, shocking, or intriguing to win the reader's attention. Build an emotional connection with your reader right from the start. A hook in the essay is a catchy sentence or paragraph in the impressive introduction which serves as an attention element and an important part. An excellent hook sentence is engaging and interesting. It is a perfect method to start an argumentative or persuasive essay. The hook for your essay often appears in the first sentence. The opening paragraph includes a thesis sentence. Some popular hook choices can include using an interesting quote, a little-known fact, famous last words, or a statistic.
Well, the 90s came around and finally it clicked that normal people could get online, which hadn't really clicked before. And the little trick that finally put it together was Tim Berners-Lee HTML. So thank you to the UK for providing the fellow who finally put the missing chink in place. And then what happened in the 90s was this extraordinary outpouring of creativity and constructiveness from millions and millions of people. There were millions of people making web pages, creating content online, creating social experiments, creating lessons, all sorts of things. And the first decade of the web took place without much of a profit motive, without any particular charismatic figures driving it, without fear, without a desire for an afterlife or other religious gambits, without advertising, and without any of the traditional motivational schemes. It simply happened because people enjoyed it, and it was a good idea. Well, the 90s came around and finally it clicked that normal people could get online, which hadn't really clicked before. And the little trick that finally put it together was Tim Berners-Lee HTML. So thank you to the UK for providing the fellow who finally put the missing.
There was a 15-year-long war after Julius Caesar was assassinated. The war was severe. The number of injured was so many. There were so many that it became one of the top priorities of the new emperor to give medical care to those in need. It was around this time that the new emperor, Augustus, started thinking about upgrading the status of doctors. He realized that medical care was key to the empire and especially an army. In order to improve the medical system, he needed better doctors. So he started making the profession look more enticing. All army doctors were entitled to attend the new army medical school and were given dignified titles, land grants, and special retirement benefits. Before this, doctors had a fairly low status.
If you are unsure of drawing directly in pen and ink, start off with a light pencil sketch. This will allow you to make sure that your proportions are correct and that you are happy with the composition. Take a few minutes to study your subject, this chair and violin. Notice how the straight lines of the chair differ from the curves of the violin. Once you are ready to begin drawing, define the shape of the chair with clean straight lines. Then add contrast by drawing the outline of the violin with gently curved lines. You may have to apply more pressure to the nib when drawing curved lines to allow the ink to flow easily. When you have drawn the outlines of both objects,
The complex process inside a leaf takes energy from the sun and uses it to convert water and carbon dioxide into sugars. During this process, photosynthesis, plants convert light energy into chemical energy. All leaves carry out photosynthesis in basically the same way. First, the pores on the leaf's outer skin open up and take in molecules of carbon dioxide. Water absorbed by the roots is transported upward through the plant, and it enters the leaf through its stem. Carbon dioxide and water, these are the raw materials for photosynthesis. Once carbon dioxide and water are present, photosynthesis can begin. The chemical reactions of photosynthesis take place in two stages: the light-dependent reactions and the light-independent reactions. When sunlight shines on a leaf during the light-dependent stage, its energy is absorbed by molecules of chlorophyll, which you all know is the pigment giving a leaf its green color. The light energy absorbed by the chlorophyll is used to split the hydrogen and oxygen in the water. Then, during the light-independent reactions, hydrogen from the water combines with carbon dioxide and forms carbohydrates, including the sugar glucose, but also other molecules that are rich in food energy for the plant. In the process, excess oxygen is released to the outside air through the leaf's pores. Finally, the plant transports the products of photosynthesis. Microscopic veins in the leaf carry the food out through the stem and into the cells of the plant. This process continues all throughout the growing season, that is, as long as the leaves remain green.
Of Australia is one of the world's significant migration destinations, other than Canada and New Zealand. Since 1947, when the principal government movement portfolio was made, over 8.5 million individuals made this their home, and they are the Australia's foreign-born inhabitant populace. The immigrants enter Australia through one of two apparent ways: the migration program for skilled and family travelers, or the humanitarian basis for displaced people and those in refugee-like circumstances. Every year, the Australian government distributes intakes, or portions, for individuals needing to move forever to Australia under these two migration pathways. Regardless of long-existing mainstream thinking, cycle paths can make some positive changes in this world. To say the least, the negative effect on deals and work is negligible, as indicated by another studies. Basically, adding enhancements like bicycle paths generally supported business and work in the retail and food administration areas. There is gigantic potential to develop what we realized in this examination undertaking to extra-urban communities and passageways. Additionally, to give policymakers the occasion to assess road improvement projects before execution, or to gather extra monetary measurements when usage is necessary.
Rather than embedding a card or checking a cell phone to make a transfer of payment, consider the possibility that you could just transfer money with touch of a finger. A model created by Sydney University scholars would basically allow your body to go about as the connection between your card or cell phone and the scanner, making it workable for you to communicate data just by contacting a surface. Regardless of whether your finger drifted only 1 centimeter over a surface, data wouldn't move through this innovation without an immediate touch. Experts believe that soon we will be able to access this technology in Australia.
The end of the phone is Jack Utzik. He's calling me from the Miami Federal Correctional Institute, a low-security prison about 40 minutes drive from Miami Beach, near the zoo and opposite one of Florida's famously generic aging street malls. Jack is serving an 18-year sentence for orchestrating a $280 million Ponzi scheme. For many years, before he was caught, this guy funded the Australian tours of some of the biggest music acts in the world.
Our Earth-Moon system where we live is a very unusual arrangement even by the standards of our solar system, because we have this unusually large moon in proportion to the size of the Earth. And this has the moon's gravity has a very strong effect on the oceans of the Earth and generates the tides, as you say. But also, we have this unusual situation that our moon is big enough to completely cover the sun when there's an eclipse over a large area. That's a remarkable coincidence, that our large moon should have the same size in the sky compared to the even larger sun, which of course is very far away.
When the roots of a plant fail, foliage suffers. The course involves a combination of pure and applied mathematics. It is clear that a national trading system is a good thing.